Welcome back. In the last video I showed you how to make eyes. Now I'm going to show you some different techniques for putting pupils on those eyes. Let me bring you down here. That's better. So for this style of puppets, there's two major types of pupils that people use. There's more fabric ones that are velvet, like this. Or ones that are like little plastic domes that stick out more, kind of like this. Now, which ones you want to use is just preference and depends on the character or the look that you're going for. I see a lot of people use Velcro dots, which is a good place to start. Or if you're doing a craft, that's not a bad idea either. The reason I don't like Velcro dots is because they always look like Velcro dots. Just doesn't look very professional, and I don't think it looks that nice. So now I'll show you one of my favorite techniques. This is self-adhesive velvet paper. Now I know craft stores have a felt version of this, which isn't a bad thing to use, especially again if it's a craft, but the velvet looks much nicer. The trouble is getting a perfect pupil out of this, because if you were to use scissors and just cut it out, chances are it's not going to look very round, or if it is round, it's going to be hard to match it for the other eye. So this is what you need to get. A punch set. As you can see, it has all different sizes of different diameters. And if you want to, I think you can get them even larger too. And this set was pretty cheap. It was like between $20 or $30, really not bad at all. And I'll show you how it works. Choose the size of pupil that you want. And this 1/2" one is one I tend to use a lot. So let me do that. So I take this, screw it on, nice and tight. You need a little piece of scrap leather for a backing here, so you don't punch into your table and wreck your table. Even if it's a mat like this, it can still be, you can cut right through it. So I'll take this, put it down like this. The paper's still on there. And I take my punch, I put it, it's good to go as close to the edges if you can without touching them. Save room. Take a mallet, and then you, and I'll do it again. And what I end up with are two perfect pupils. Now I just threw eyes on this guy so I can show you, because another thing I want to talk about really quickly is eye focus. One of the most common mistakes I see people do is they put the pupils right in the center of the domes, and then they put the eyes on the puppet. Now when you do that, you can see the eye focus isn't very good at all. He's kind of cross-eyed. So what I always recommend is to put the eyes on first and then put the pupils on so that you can line them up perfectly. And find the focus that you like. Another good tip with this is you can maybe see, I actually put them, I stick them to the tip of a pin like this. So it's easier to get in there and place it. And I actually keep the pins in there at first to see if I like the eye focus, because then I can easily kind of take it off and change it a little bit. Maybe I'd want to put them down here more. Maybe I'd want to put them down here more, or what have you. And then when you find a place that you like, I just twist them out and press them down firmly, and then you have really nice little pupils on there. Now when they're smaller like this, you can use them as is. If you want to do pupils that are slightly larger, what you're gonna have to do is put a little dart in them so that they can go around the curved surface of the eye. So I'll show you what I mean. Make a very thin dart, about like that, like a little slice of pie. So now, when I go to put these, larger pupil on, what I do is, let's say put it on there, and now you can work it around so that it closes up. That way it stays nice and close to the surface. Also, try to make sure that these are going in the same direction. It's just a good habit to be in. Like that. Larger pupils. So that's how I do my velvet pupils. You can also order the plastic eyes like this. Now these come in all different shapes and colors and sizes, as you can see. Some of my favorite ones to use are these black ones like this. When they're larger like this, these are 15 millimeter, they have this little peg in the back. Now if they come much smaller too, those ones do not have the peg. You can just glue those straight on. Now let me show you how I do that. Now to cut off the peg, I do two things. First thing I do, I use clippers like this, and I just clip them off. It always goes flying like that, so you're gonna wanna use some eye protection. But you still have a little bit of an edge there, so I take that off with the Dremel. There you go. 2 nice eyes there. So these are some of my favorite ones, these flat black ones, but again, I'm sure you've seen many of them that are like this, that have brown in them. You can also order these, which I'll put a link down below. These have a clear back. You can back them with paper, or you can paint the back of it to make it any color that you want, which is really handy. Now the best way to attach these is with super glue, and you can make it go a lot faster with Accelerator. So here's a close-up view. Again, you'd want to do this when it's already on the puppet so that you don't have to worry about the eye focus. Just put a little dab of the super glue on there, and then you set this on where you want it, and then you give it a spray with this, and this stuff makes it cure right away. So now this eye is ready to go. And that will not, that would have to be hit pretty hard to come off. Another thing you can do, especially for a bigger eye like this, is to actually put the spray on the back of the eye first. Put the glue where you want it, and now as soon as you connect this, it will cure right on those eyes. So look at that, some goofy eyes there. For demonstration purposes, I'll put some on this guy too. Reverse too, I can spray on his eyes. And then put the glue on here. So then there we have some eyes that are very securely on. You know, another quick idea, if you're just doing this for a craft, you could even just use a Sharpie marker and color in the eyes to any shape that you want. So these are just a couple of the techniques that I use. If you have any special ones that you do, let me know in the comments. Well, that's it for now. I'll see you next time.